Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Another heat wave is here. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Carroll in for Maya Trabulsi. Extreme temperatures will be felt in much of San Diego County through the weekend. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayers spoke with some North County residents who are looking for ways to keep cool.
From the beaches to the Far East Desert, all of San Diego County is now under a heat advisory or extreme heat warnings through Sunday evening. Temperatures are expected to range from the mid-80s on the coast to over 115 degrees in the deserts.
Almost fainted the other day out there, passed out, just walking.
Alfredo Garza was inside the Park Avenue Community Center in Escondido. It's one of the many designated cool zones throughout the county that provides air conditioning.
Well, the library was my escape.
Garza says he fell into homelessness after a car struck him while biking in 2024. With the public library still closed for renovations, and with this cool zone closed for this weekend, he's making other plans.
I try to stay in the shade somewhere. I don't like the park. There's a bunch of Looney Tunes there too. So I maybe catch the Sprinter and go to the beach. I grew up in Oceanside.
Like Garza, many people may have that same idea, but there's a bit of a catch at the beaches this weekend. An offshore hurricane is fueling dangerous swimming conditions due to large waves and very strong rip currents until Saturday evening. Seniors Antonia Zarate and Estela Nunez plan to stay inside their air-conditioned homes. They know many seniors in the area who aren't so lucky.
En mi caso, tengo aire acondicionado, pero el que no tiene que buscar dónde refugiarse, como en este centro, con un cool zone, por lo menos la parte que está más caliente durante el día.
The county says hydrating with water, finding shade, wearing sunscreen, and taking breaks when outside will help people keep cool. Also check on friends and neighbors at high risk for heat-related illness, infants and young children, and the elderly. And never leave kids or pets in a closed parked vehicle.
Sufre la gente con los calores y no se abastece. Si ponen un abanico, yo no creo que les abasteza.
The county announced 3 parks will close during August as temperatures peak. El Capitan Reserve near Lakeside, Hellhole Canyon Preserve in Valley Center, and Mount Gower Preserve in Ramona. They add to the summer closures of Agua Caliente Regional Park and Vallecito County Park near the Anza Borrego Desert. Jacob Ayers, KPBS News.
Local libraries also double as cool zones, except in one San Diego neighborhood. The South Claremont Library branch is closed due to damage from an accident. City Council member Jennifer Campbell says it will be 2 to 3 months before it reopens. The North Claremont Library is an alternative, but it's closed on weekends. Cooler temperatures can be found at our beaches, but we're still seeing dangerous conditions in the water. A high surf advisory is expected to last through tomorrow afternoon. This is what it looked like earlier today at Mission Beach. Waves are larger than usual, and lifeguards say rip currents are dangerously strong right now. Meteorologists say there is potential for minor flooding during high tide.
We've had a lot of rough surf this week, and it's been tempting to want to take a dip as we've gone throughout your Friday, just because we've had a lot of heat. And guess what? These heat advisories, extreme heat warnings, they're going to last through Sunday for us as the peak of the heat arrives for the weekend. I'll break it down in your forecast ahead.
The Marine Corps says a pilot ejected safely before a plane crash this morning at the Miramar Air Station. Video from our media partner KGTV shows firefighters responding to the scene just after 10 a.m. A military spokesperson says the pilot is injured but is expected to survive. The crash ignited a small brush fire in an open area near the runway. The Marines say the plane is an F-35B. An investigation is underway to determine what went wrong. No one else was hurt. A power outage forced SeaWorld to close early today. The outage started just after noon when firefighters responded to an electrical issue. SDG&E is investigating the cause and expects power to be restored by 10 p.m. The utility says all equipment used to support animals is fully functional. SeaWorld says it will provide refunds for those who bought tickets for Friday. The death of former Chargers linebacker Billy Ray Smith Jr. this week is bringing renewed attention to the long-term effects of repeated head trauma. Smith's family says he had dementia caused by chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. KPBS health reporter Heidi DeMarco takes a closer look at the science behind that disease.
For years, doctors have known repeated blows to the head can have consequences long after athletes leave the field.
I think our main concern is the cumulative effect over time, and how much cumulative effect is necessary is what we don't know.
Dr. Vamsi Chavakula is a neurosurgeon with Sharp Healthcare. He says CTE is a progressive disease associated with repeated head trauma, and it can affect more than football players.
Combat sports like MMA or boxing, professional football, even soccer with head strikes, as well as members of the military, service members who have been involved in shocks or blasts repeatedly.
Sarah Banks has studied CTE for more than a decade. She uses brain autopsies to learn more about the disease.
We really do rely on the families of these individuals who sadly die with repetitive head injury and dementia to donate their brains so that we can learn more about what happens.
That means diagnosing CTE in a living person is a process of elimination.
A lot of times it is kind of a wait and see. It takes a minimum of a year to even establish the fact that we've ruled out every other condition before we really settle on this type of a diagnosis.
He says researchers are looking for other ways to detect CTE, including through blood and spinal fluid, but there is no reliable test yet. And there's another big question scientists still can't answer.
But we don't understand, for example, why some players get CTE and some do not.
Banks says a long history of playing contact sports is just one piece of the puzzle.
It's a risk factor, but it doesn't mean that you will get it.
The uncertainty is raising questions about how early in life repeated head impacts may matter.
It's actually a big question that's happening nationally, especially in kids' sports, is do we let our kids continue to engage in contact sports? Should we delay the age of contact?
For now, researchers are working toward a way to identify the disease during life and better understand who is most vulnerable. Heidi DeMarco, KPBS News.
The federal government has a new plan for managing a dwindling resource in the West, water from the Colorado River. As a result, California would face mandatory cuts. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation announced the 10-year plan today. Arizona and Nevada would also be required to use less water. Other states in the region won't have to scale back, at least for now. Updates to the plan will be made every 2 years and will depend on water levels at major reservoirs like Lake Powell and Lake Mead. San Diego gas prices ticked up again today. They're now an average of $5.74 a gallon, according to AAA. We've been paying elevated prices for several months, and some of that money is contributing to record profits for major oil companies. Karen Kafa breaks down the latest numbers.
Oil giants ExxonMobil and Chevron Friday reporting massive profits driven by the spike in global oil prices due to the U.S.-Iran war. ExxonMobil posted $14.5 billion in profit for the second quarter. That's about $160 million per day. And Chevron, $12.1 billion. This as concerns of a broader regional conflict grow.
We've seen escalation between Iraqi militias and Saudi Arabia, Yemen, strikes getting close to Egypt as well. So this is a widening war.
While oil companies have raked in profits, U.S. consumers have been squeezed. The nationwide average for a gallon of regular gas was roughly 96 cents higher on Friday than 1 year ago, AAA says. Still, President Donald Trump at a cabinet meeting Friday said he believes the economy is on track to be stronger than his first term.
This term is going to blow it away. I think this term is going to actually blow it away.
U.S. economic growth expanded but slowed heading into the summer, according to government numbers released Thursday. Consumer spending fueled the growth, but economists wonder how long households can absorb the energy shock.
It's how is this impacting diesel, which will trickle through to the price of food, the cost of anything you buy at Amazon, shipping a package over the postal service. These are things that are very important to the U.S. economy.
The Iran war has already cost consumers more than $76 billion related to elevated energy prices, according to Brown University's Climate Solutions Lab. In Washington, Karen Kefa, KPBS News.
Venezuela is still recovering from a major earthquake that struck last month. The event is another reminder that the same thing can happen right here in Southern California. Maribel Gonzalez spoke with one of our region's leading experts on seismology.
It is the longest fault in California and therefore capable of the biggest earthquakes.
This simulation depicts Southern California's worst-case earthquake, a massive magnitude 7.8 rupture along the San Andreas Fault, nearly 2 minutes of shaking. Experts say hundreds could die, along with billions of dollars in damage. Seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones helped develop this scientific scenario in 2008.
We know how it'll happen, we know what the shaking will be, and that's what these models showing that if we run these, this is the best science put together. There were 2 minutes into the earthquake, and we're still having really strong shaking in downtown.
This simulated earthquake rivals the powerful quake that struck Venezuela in June, highlighting their devastating impact.
It's the same type of what's called a transform fault. It began west of Caracas and then ruptured towards Caracas, therefore helping focus energy into the heavily populated areas. We think that'll happen here as well.
The problem is, unlike a weather event, an earthquake remains unpredictable.
It could go another 100 years. It could be tomorrow. It could be, next minute.
But a new study warns the risk of a significant earthquake in California could be greater than previously believed, with even more widespread damage.
What we've found now is that, we haven't had an earthquake in Southern California since 1857, so stresses are naturally high, and they're actually, in some places, the highest that we've seen in all of these 1,000 years.
Researchers say a significant earthquake at Cajon Pass, where the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults meet, could cripple infrastructure across several cities.
Aqueducts actually cross the San Andreas Fault. And if, something happens, you might not have water for a while.
California has long braced for the impact, implementing mandatory retrofits of buildings and updates to building codes. But Dr. Jones is concerned that may not be enough.
We underestimate the social disruption and the economic disruption. We are so focused on our fear of dying that we forget to be afraid of being bankrupted.
For now, experts urge being prepared, retrofitting your own home.
Then when you push sideways, it can come right down. Right now, I'm just going to go in and put on some extra shear wall. Now, when I push sideways, it doesn't go down, it doesn't collapse.
Storing emergency supplies and having a communication plan in the event of a disaster is key. And when the big one strikes,
if you use those few seconds to get under a strong table, you now can at least get dug back out. We say drop, cover, hold on, and it really is the safest thing to do.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
The temperatures have already risen quite a bit today, and we go a little bit higher as we head into tomorrow. Genevieve is moving farther and farther off towards the west, so more of our problems with Genevieve will subside as we get into the peak of the heat this weekend. Keep in mind there's still a lot of fire danger still milling around, especially when we get temperatures this high, the humidity drops so low. It's just really hard not to escape it. As you take a look at Genevieve well offshore, tropical storm as it continues out to sea. And because it has lost wind intensity, it also is going to be lessening our waves over the upcoming days. So some good news is the coastal flood advisory will expire as we head into tomorrow morning, but we do have the high surf advisory. That's going to last a little bit longer as we head into the evening hours. So things to keep in mind if you are trying to get to some of those beaches and some of the low-lying spots. Of course, you saw here the heat that's kicking in as we go through Sunday. Extreme heat warnings in place across the area, heat advisories. So it's about the numbers as we go into tomorrow. Tonight, not bad. 70 for the low in San Diego. Marine layer will be pretty confined to the coast. Oceanside 65 for you. Borrego Springs coming in at 81. Getting through tomorrow, this is really where the core of the heat comes through, and high pressure is very strong overhead, so it does mean our temperatures in many spots, even at the coast, 5 degrees above historical average. Inland, we're talking 10 degrees above historical average or more. Borrego Springs 115 for the day as San Diego hits 82. Chula Vista will be at 82, and Escondido at 94 for the high. We do have those numbers higher than we want to be. We should be in the 70s towards the coast this time of year. We'll be in the 80s as we run through Saturday, Sunday, even lingering into Monday. The heat's slow to back off, but by Tuesday, many of us find relief. Even inland, we're in the upper 80s again. Notice the mountains. We are in the mid-80s for Saturday and Sunday. We'll ease out of things going into Tuesday. And as you look towards the deserts, the relief is a little bit less subtle, less strong, I should say, a little bit more subtle as we go from 115 to Tuesday's 111. Eventually, though, by Wednesday, making it a little lower. For KPBS News, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Melissa Constanzer.
Murals honoring San Diego's African-American and Chicano music legends and San Diego's Black Panther Party are now unveiled on a building with a special place in local history. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer says the team behind the murals hope they offer lessons from past generations and are a catalyst to revive the arts in the area.
Just east of San Diego's downtown core, the trolley and busy Imperial Avenue and Commercial Street corridors create the rhythm of an urban community. It's here in Logan Heights at Clementine McDuff Elks Lodge where muralists are honoring the musical legacy and civil rights history of this neighborhood.
Long live Mr. Hendricks! We are at Commercial in Hensley, kind of the crux of the whole soul roots of this area.
The building now features murals of community leaders and the jazz, soul, and garage band musicians who shaped Imperial Avenue's music scene. One of the muralists helping to make it happen is Mario Torero of Barrio Artist Partnership. He's also one of the founding muralists of Chicano Park. Torero was raised around the community and remembers segregation as a teenager.
We moved in an area which eventually was part of the black section of San Diego, and I was forced to go to Memorial Junior High, the black school at that time in 1960.
This Elks Lodge was a stop on the Chitlin Circuit, part of the network of venues where black musicians performed during segregation. Many of the artists honored in the mural are locals or those who played there in person.
I played in this guy here back in around 1964, 65. I was playing with Arlene and the Proteins, #1 black band, dance band in San Diego. And we played here. I opened up for Etta James with the group.
In addition to Etta James, other big names that played the venue include legendary San Diego music entrepreneur, producer, and musician George Semper, and global stars like Billie Holiday and Nat King Cole.
And now that it's no longer the black section of town, let's say, we still have to know the history.
The building also serves as a hub for the San Diego Black Panther Party. A tribute to them was created by a visiting LA-based aerosol crew and can be seen on the side facing Commercial Street. Renard Hawk Hilliard is both an Elks Lodge and local Black Panther member.
We had a connection with the Black Panthers. First, there's the original Black Panthers, which worked with the Elks doing food distribution. The San Diego Black Panther Party joined the Elks about a year and a half ago, and they started renting a space upstairs.
Hilliard has been with both organizations for less than 5 years, but grew up in the area. He says this Elks Lodge has been in the same location since 1955.
The original members of the Elks Lodge? For the most part, Black entertainers were limited on where they could go. So this was the one space that catered to the Black community and provided opportunities for entertainers to come.
The mural isn't finished yet. There were some last-minute changes made on the Commercial Street side of the building. Hawk says the recent death of their Elks Lodge leader, Daniel Davis, gives the work extra meaning. They plan to display him and other members on the exterior walls.
It was quite a surprise that he passed. I had just spoken with him 2 days before, and we were just discussing the agreements that we had for during the murals on the building, and to also do something to represent the Elks on the buildings.
Hilliard hopes that by documenting and painting the history of this neighborhood, it will inspire the artists and activists of today.
We want to bring music back. We just want to bring the community together and just emphasize all the different things we do in the Black community.
The murals are part of the Imperial Avenue Legacy Project, which is funded by grants from the Prebys Foundation and the California Arts Council. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
San Diego's first women's sports bar has landed in North Park. It's part of a growing trend of women's sports bars opening up across the country as the women's sports industry experiences explosive growth. One of Us opened just as the National Women's Soccer League returned from its mid-season break, and it's quickly become the spot to watch Wave FC matches. But co-founder Kalani Millsap says they're also hoping to showcase other sports and athletes.
You know, women's sports are gaining a lot of traction. So we are tapping into not only the local teams that are right here, like San Diego Wave, but we're also tapping into, you know, like the college teams.
One of Us is located on the corner of University Avenue and 31st Street. The fairy Tale Monologues opens tonight at Moxie Theater, but the play debuted in an abridged form at the San Diego International Fringe Festival back in May. It won the award for Most Outstanding World Premiere. KPBS arts reporter Beth Alcamado shares an early backstage look at the play.
Once upon a time, there was a princess hiding a trail of bodies, a witch and a prince having a torrid affair, and a baker's wife trying to find happiness. Wait, what?
Let's back up.
If that's not how you remember the fairy tales you grew up with, that's because the fairy tale monologues flips the tropes.
Always a feminist twist when I write, and I like to say my style is funny till it's not. So we're poking fun a little bit at the fact that every single story in fairy tales, in the Grimm's fairy tales, they usually begin with the mother is dead. Like, why did we have to be written out as women?
Once upon a time, there was a wicked witch that lived alone in a garden in the woods.
Okay, who's wicked? I'm literally just living my best life.
I'm Sarah LeClaire, and I'm the artistic director of Riot Productions. I'm the composer and playwright for Fairy Tale Monologues. I love the musical Into the Woods, as I think a lot of theater folk do, but since doing a lot of writing in the feminist space, I was really interested with the feminist tropes that they show in Into the Woods and seeing if I could push them a little bit farther.
You want a fairy tale? My mother was dead to begin with.
My name is Delia Mejia, and I'm playing the princess. So this show takes a look at traditional fairy tales, a lot of our old school Brother Grimm, and kind of flips it on its head, taking a look more at the women's roles. A lot of times those stories don't focus heavily on who women are and all of their arc and agency, and this show really does take a look at that.
Definitely don't ask why my mother was dead, or why she died suspiciously young, or if my father had anything to do with it.
So my princess is not the typical cheery, love is going to rescue me. She's a little bit more rough around the edges. She has experienced a lot more trauma than we typically see in this kind of show. And she's not the kind of woman to wait around. She's the kind to take charge and design her own future.
Women in general, like once they get past the little girl, Gretel and Little Red princess age, women just disappear. So I was interested in showing a lot of adult women trying to find their way inside a story where they felt trapped inside a box, which I think is something that a lot of women in real life deal with.
Come with me. Your prince commands.
That's cute. I'm 900 years old, so nobody commands me.
So I'm BJ Robinson, and in Fairy Tale Monologues, I am playing the role of the baker.
I'm going to solve our problems.
With scones?
With candied walnuts.
It allows us to re-examine how women are portrayed in fairy tale stories and why they're portrayed the way they are, while gaining that understanding of how that has impacted our real world misogyny and often harmful trope and perspectives on the conditioning we put on women, on expectations for women and girls in society.
In this particular production, we see 3 different kinds of women. Each of them is so complex and has a different arc and has a lot more agency. And that's the kind of show that we like to present to the world.
Exactly.
Fairy Tale Monologues not only does so much to make you think outside the box about a lot of things you thought you already knew, but it's a great opportunity to hear some fresh, new, contemporary music from a local San Diego artist. And that is a priceless opportunity in itself.
And if you're going for opening night, LeClaire will have baked goods from the story to help immerse you in the world of the Fairy Tale Monologues. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you all for joining us. I'm John Carroll. Have an excellent evening and a wonderful weekend.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.